Yeah, I'm already?
All right.
Right here. Turn it on.
You can hear me?
Yeah, but it's showing me that we're live in 3 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to be live in 3 minutes. You guys are going to be live right from the get-go. I'm going to have you on as soon as I come on.
Okay, well then let me do something for Josh and get out of the way.
You want to wait though? I can hold off if you want.
No, you're fine. Josh is sitting right here.
What happened was I wasn't in the studio. And when I went in the studio, it kicked you guys out. This thing is so crazy.
I'm glad I logged in a little earlier.
Hey, hello everybody.
What's up?
Okay, guys, I gotta apologize right off the get-go here. We have an issue with when I plug it. Little backstory: Melon did something different. They merged more directly with Streamlabs or something. I think it happened today or yesterday. So we were having connectivity issues, both of us, Josh and I. And for some reason now my microphone, when I plug my microphone in, I can't hear Josh. So it's some kind of weird glitch. So hopefully the sound quality is okay. But with that said, I want to welcome my good buddy Josh. You guys all know who he is. The Little Debbie's King. The legend. Look at him. Representing Have Luggage Will Travel this evening. Laura is getting her hair did. We have, what do we got? We got less than 48 hours, right, Josh?
Yeah, less than 48 hours. We will be in the big Miami, my brother.
Yeah, that is so crazy. It's hard to believe it's here. It's around the corner. It's been nothing but hectic here, trying to unravel the Alaska cruise and get into this. We have a little bit of an announcement.
Two opposite spectrum, Alaska to Miami.
Well, it's weird because usually we're taking our cruise clothes out, we're washing them, and we're packing most of them for the next cruise. Maybe swapping stuff out. you know, when you're on video a lot, you try to have a variety of, you know, different clothes, shirts, and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But with Alaska, it's all hoodies and, you know, jeans and that kind of thing. So that wasn't the issue. But we have a new partnership we're going to announce. I'm going to announce it right now. So I've been waiting for our luggage to arrive. We're partnered with Level 8 Luggage now, and they sent us. Hey Z, how you doing, buddy? They sent us some suitcases. So we were waiting for that to arrive, and they actually came today. So I was able to look at one of the carry-ons, really super nice stuff, and I'll be adding them to our link tree and explaining how our partnership works and how that benefits our friends that follow us in the next few days or so. So I'm still waiting for more detailed information. They reached out to us right before we were going to get on the Spirit for Alaska, like a few days before, and asked us if we would be interested in partnering with them, working with them, whatever, how you want to say it. And let me open this up. There, I can see that better. So we were gonna, so we were waiting for that to happen so that we could get packed. So that's one of the reasons why we're not packed, is because we're waiting for that stuff to arrive, and it got here. And so we're really happy it showed up. And there was a little snafu. They actually gave us a choice of what we wanted. We told them, and they sent the reverse of what we asked for. So we had to like return some stuff, and they're all the way out in California, so it takes a long time to get here. So with all that said, Josh, how's your packing coming?
We packed the night before. Yeah, but I do think it's awesome. I got sponsored by a luggage company, and I told Amanda, I said, we're trying to get sponsored by Little Debbie, and we have luggage in our name. And Little Debbie has nothing to do with traveling.
These guys here have been letting me down. I've been all over the globe sponsoring them, and they won't reach out to me. They don't call me. They don't tell me anything. The Ultra guys. But yeah, it's odd how that worked. We didn't reach out to them or anything like that. They emailed us through our Huddle Adventures, website or email account, and we went back and forth, and I said, okay, sounds cool. And just so you guys know, our bar is not pink behind me. I know it looks like it's pink, it's just the lights, so it's kind of funny. It's like we have like Prince's bar back there behind me.
That's what I was thinking. Like, y'all gonna have to start having Purple Rain play in the background or something.
Yeah, I get carried away, Josh. I got too many lights back there or something. It's crazy trying to get all this technology down so that it works. So it seems like it's a never-ending battle. So, talking about the Spirit, I mentioned it I was on a live stream 2 nights ago with our good buddies Trevor, Thomas, and Reese, the Carnival Cruise Castaway Podcastaway channel. That's a mouthful. That's a lot.
Thomas said it wrong for the first 6 months, so don't feel bad. And he's
that doesn't make me feel bad. It makes me feel better. So thanks for that. But anyways, I explained to them, that that was our first time on a Spirit class ship, and we were kind of nervous because my very first cruise was on a small Royal Caribbean ship. And I thought, I loved it because it was my first cruise ever. I'd never had anything to compare it to. So when we started looking we booked this cruise. It was on the Freedom, which is, it's still a small ship, but it's much bigger than the Spirit. Yeah. Then they switched us to the Spirit, and we got kind of lucky on this deal. We had 2 rooms booked on the Freedom, and they were ocean view interiors. And when they put us on the Spirit, they gave us a balcony and an ocean view for the same price. So that worked out good. So when we seen it was a Spirit, we were a little disappointed at first because we thought the Freedom would be better for our sons who went with us, because there'd probably be more to do on the Freedom. But the months leading up to it, we really started looking more at the vlogs for the Spirit, and we got excited about it. And I have to say, I'm not going to say it's my favorite cruise ship, but it is in the top. It's up there. That's how much I like it. Yeah. That ship is so, Josh, everything that was retrofitted into the Spirit, like the Alchemy Bar, Guy's Burgers, everything that was Hey, thank you, Destinations Delight. All those things are like just super. I can't the aesthetics. Everything just fits. It looks like it was always there, right? It looks like it was always there, like it was meant to be there. And there's a lot of really well thought out elements and some unique aesthetics on the Spirit that makes it just really kind of a really cool ship. And it's I'm really excited to go on it again with you guys in March of 2024. The what's it, Macho Man cruise with the women.
So it's like Macho Men and some women. No, it's
Hey, thanks, Boardman, for subscribing. Yeah, it was going to be the boys cruise, but we can't be unsupervised, so we got to have supervision.
No, we seen what happened in New Orleans with Gary Manning, and Gary's not here tonight, so we can
talk about
what happened in New Orleans with Gary. So yeah, it's going to be fantastic. It's the brothers from other mothers and sisters from other misters cruise that originally originated that. Me and Amanda kind of rotate on taking birthday cruises in the spring. So this year we did her. Next year we'll do me, and so it's exciting. And Gary wanted to hop on, then y'all found out it's Eddie's birthday, so we're going to celebrate 3 birthdays on a cruise. And
embarkation. Yeah. Embarkation Day is my birthday on that cruise. So that's really cool. Laura and I do the same thing. We try to do a cruise over my birthday and a cruise over her birthday. And it didn't work out this year because we had to swap some stuff around. And now we're going to be swapping something else to get this one to work. We had a cruise. We had the For Fun Sakes 6 cruise with John Held booked for February. And we're going to have to cancel that and then book your cruise for March just because we can't. We're doing that Icon at the end of January, and then and then we have a back-to-back in April. So we have all these cruises in a row, and we're starting to realize that we take it's real hard on us when we do too many cruises all together. We can't quite recover, get back in your work groove, catch up on everything at work, and then get right back on another cruise. And that's more of a Laura problem than me. What I have to worry about are those guys leaving the bad jobs for when I get back.
I have to worry about the 8,000 emails. That's what I got to worry about.
Yeah, my issues aren't that bad, so it's pretty cool. So now with the Spirit in Alaska was really cool. Just briefly, we have cruised off the West Coast prior. And the time difference, hey, Daily Dose, thanks for subscribing. The time zone difference when we sailed out of California wasn't as bad because the light of day was the same length of daylight, right? Alaska stays light after 10 o'clock, and every night looks like a full moon. It's like you look out and you can still see the tops of those mountains. And I think it's the reflection of the snow at the top of the mountains and off the water and everything. It just keeps it lit. And I don't believe that the sun is actually going completely below the horizon. It must be like right below it. So it's still kind of lit up. And I told Laura, man, after 3 days, I'm going, I just feel whipped. And our boys felt the same way. So it made us feel better. I thought it was just me getting old. But the 15-year-old and the 22-year-old were saying the same thing. They're like, oh man, it was really killing us. And we actually had an easier time coming back and losing those hours and getting back on track than we did going that way, which was weird. It really surprised us. I don't think we really considered that, how that would affect us. Especially here in Michigan. A week before we left, we had 30-degree weather. It was actually colder here than it was in Alaska, several days later when we arrived in Alaska. We had great weather in Alaska. We went prepared for monsoon rains because everybody tells you it rains nonstop in Seattle. That's why all that grunge music is so dark, And then it rains all the time in Alaska. And, you bring your ponchos, your waterproof underwear, everything, you be ready to roll. We didn't get a drop of rain the entire time, Josh. At no point, not in Seattle there, not Seattle back. Wonderful weather. Wasn't super cold. You folks from the south that are hesitant to do Alaska because you think it's too cold, it was hoodie weather. We had one day where it was kind of cold when we got to Tracy Arms Fjord, and it was only because it was windy. It was real windy that day. It was like 35-mile-an-hour winds, and it was a wind chill making it really cold. It was like 42 degrees, but the wind chill probably made it feel like it was in the teens. But that only lasted for a couple hours, and then the wind settled down, and then it was fine. And then for the wet rest of the way, it was just hoodies. And when we left on our way back on the last day, it was in the 60s. Before we even got close to Seattle, and everyone was outside in the sun, in the pool. All the pools are heated on that ship, even the ones that are outside. And even with that wind blowing, there were still people in the hot tubs. It's kind of crazy. Now, the area where they do like the sail away parties, it's kind of lame because they do it in that section that's got the glass roof over it, and you feel like you're doing a sail away party in someone's basement or like a little hall, like a small wedding reception hall or something. It just didn't have the same feel to it. So that was kind of different, but they still tried. They tried. And the cruise director, her name is, I believe, Erin. I ran into her. I've seen her one time. She was a lot more low key. So it's a lot more low keyed of a cruise. It's not your typical, where you got like the cruise director on the microphone 10 times a day. Hey, everybody, telling you what's happening. She did that just a little here and there. It wasn't too much. The really cool thing was every time they spotted like a whale or anything interesting from the bridge, the captain would come over the radio, over the PA system, and tell you where they just spotted something. And so it's pretty cool. And then the way the ship was designed, the flow of it, the only time you felt like it was kind of crowded was at lunchtime in the Lido area. You don't have a lot of center seating in the Lido area because that's where all the buffets are, because it's a slightly more narrow ship because it's a smaller ship, but almost every seat has a nice window view. So it makes it's really cool. You're going to really, really like it. And I'm excited to sail out of Alabama on that ship. It's going to be bad. I think it's an 8-day cruise too, right?
That's correct. But I'm just excited about Bimini and Princess Cays because that's two that we don't normally get this close to home as far as islands to visit. So that's why I think we picked that one.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. We've been to Bimini, and it was really neat. We didn't go to that resort because we really didn't know. We have a bad habit of, I shouldn't say it's a bad habit. It's just the way we do things. When we go to a cruise port for the first time, we generally don't do excursions. We just get off the ship, tour around and see what's going on. Maybe, leave the port area and do some exploring on our own type of stuff. And then the second time, that's when we'll start booking excursions.
I tell you, you say that, and that's what gave me more respect for Nassau than what I used to have because of the food tour. You don't realize how great Nassau is away from the port until we did the food tour. Now we feel comfortable going like to that chocolate factory, this Gray Cliff, the restaurant that we went and ate at, the other restaurant we went and ate at. It's a really beautiful city, and everybody was super friendly. So I like your idea. Get out, explore the port a little bit. Now there's some ports you can't do that in, like Freeport, but
Nassau takes
I have a better point for it.
It takes a beating, keep people, because it's common. It's a huge port where they can get lots of ships in there at the same time. And a lot of people think that they just use Nassau because it's cheap or something, or it's because it's easy to get a lot of ships in there at one time and they can handle it. And now with Royal Caribbean building their own private resort there, that's going to be a game changer. I will give Royal Caribbean super props for their Perfect Day at Coco Cay. That is just an amazing private island, man. We went there in 2017 when it should have been Rocky Beach Cay. It was just like it was nothing like it is now. It's incredible. We're not really big beach people. If we have our choice, like when we go to Paradise Beach, we like to hang out around the pool more so than down at the beach. That's just how we tend to be. I think Laura's afraid she's going to get bit by a shark. But the thing about the thing about Perfect Day Coco Cay, they have a pool there, but it is a massive pool. It is absolutely huge. And then they have that bar that's right there, and they got a little DJ in a booth across on the other side, so they're playing really good music, and everybody's dancing in the water there and having drinks. And your drink package follows you to Coco Cay, and they have real great food items offerings on Coco Cay. And then if you pay extra, this is where they get you, and it kind of stings. I think it's $100 a person to go to the actual water park, but they have the largest slide, I think, in North America or something like that.
Hey, Amanda said it's bumped to 150 now.
150, yeah. And then we know how you guys feel now, because we had four of us, and we're looking at excursions that were $250 a person at every port in Alaska. So we're gonna have to drop $1,000 on every one of those, and there was 4 of them. So you had well, if we would have done Vancouver, there would have been 4, but just doing 3 of them would have been $3,000 on top of what we already spent. With airline, we spent $2,000 to fly there, right? So I want to say that trip cost us a little over $8,000 for all 4 of us to go on it. So it was pricey. So to add another $3,000 on top of that just was not feasible with us having this coming up, right? So now we're going down to on the 8-day ABC Island cruise, which is, man, I'm super excited about it. I love the celebration. I think the celebration is everything good about Mardi Gras with a little tweak to make it just a little better.
Yeah, I looked at the deck plans, and I noticed how they redid Emeralds, and they redid the fortune teller bar area and stuff, and they made it where it's not so much overlaying of music from one venue to the other and stuff. So, yeah, I noticed there's some slight changes, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, it's really, really cool how they have it set up. I regret we did a 6-day, right? And we did the U.S. inaugural sailing, 6-day cruise, and everybody and their brother were on that cruise, right? So there was, I would guess there was probably 40 channels, cruise YouTube channels on that cruise. Everywhere I turned, I'm recognizing people, and people are recognizing us. So we're going back and forth, hey, doing all that stuff. And you end up talking to a lot of people, and we didn't get around like we normally would on a normal cruise. Mm-hmm. We barely got any footage, and it wasn't just us. It was most of the guys that were on the ship, but we were all saying the same thing. But yeah, when you go into I can't remember the name, the Golden Jubilee, I think it is
it's the one bar. The Magnolia, the brass Magnolia.
That's what it's called on Mardi Gras. But on Celebration, what they did was they took the stage and they moved it across, and they glassed in these walls that make a true hallway. So when they're in there doing like a violin or a guy playing piano or whatever, you just hear the music coming back at you, and then that glass wall prevents everything from the bar on the other side from coming over. And their stage for their music over there, when they have someone performing, is against the center wall going that way towards them. So on the other ship, it was the stages are like facing each other, blasting music across, and you would get like dizzy from hearing if you weren't sitting real close where you could block out the other one. So that was a really well planned out design element. And then Emeralds is way better designed on Celebration. Emerald has a feel of like a nice restaurant with booths and tables by the window where you're looking out at the window. Where on Mardi Gras, the booths are across and the kitchen is actually behind that wall, and you're just sitting over here like you're at a McDonald's or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
At the ocean. But it's much nicer. And then Summer's Landing is pretty much the same on both ships. But what we missed out on that cruise, we didn't spend enough time back there, and that's where they have the bands. We did on Mardi Gras, but we didn't on Celebration. We ended up hanging out in other places on the ship, and we didn't go back there as much as we normally would. So we're really hoping that they have a really good band for us this weekend when we get there, and we'll probably be spending more time in Summer's Landing. It has such a nice, fun vibe. First, you got the it's Guy's Smokehouse, so you got the food there, so you can't go wrong with barbecue, even though it's not the best barbecue, but it's still barbecue. And then you got the live music, so it's pretty cool. And then the casino is nice on Celebration too. So I can't get on it.
Did you find the casino? This is what we found weird on the Mardi Gras, and it's the same on the Celebration. We've already looked that the entrance to the entertainment on the front of the ship is through the casino.
Yeah.
Or you got to come up one staircase. And I thought that was so weird. Like, you either got to come through the smoking side or go all the way through that. And then there's no room to stand when people, normally people stand in 30 minutes, 45 minutes in advance to get a good seat. There's nowhere to stand, really. You're crammed in there trying to get in there to the shows.
It is kind of odd how they have it set up, but it's a big casino. It
is a large casino, yeah.
Yeah, it is really. I spent the majority of our time in the casino was spent with High C, Cindy, and Paul, and he was trying to turn me into a bourbon drinker that evening. So it's a little. Some of my memories are a little blurry of that. I remember High C's Paul telling me, "Eddie, you can't record in here." I'm like, "Yeah, I can. I'm from Detroit," and he was laughing. And I'm in there. I'm recording people playing craps. I'm right at the table. No one's saying nothing to me. I'm like, yeah. Carnival is so cool. They're such a cool cruise line. They really don't mess with you.
I like the fact too that they did more floor to ceiling windows to bring more light into it, even in the casino, because you get in some of the cruise ships and it gets dark and gloomy and you can't see it. But the floor to ceiling windows made a huge difference. That's throughout some of the venues.
I have a question.
We're gonna have to really.
You have a question from your wife, Eddie.
Oh, do I? I'm gonna have to turn the chat on. So I turn the chat on and block half of you out, buddy. I don't like it.
How much you budget for the casino? Sorry, Amanda's right here by me moderating. She said you got a question.
Okay, how much we budget for the casino? I think we're gonna. I think we agreed on we're gonna do 500, 250 each, or it'll probably be 200 for me and then 300 for her or something, or 100 for me, or maybe 500 for her and none for me.
That's more like me and Amanda. It's going to be for her, not me. I'll be there for Thomas's slot pool thing, and then I'm out on the rest of it. I'll be in there hanging out, laughing, and watching everybody. But
what we do, we put cruise cash on our account. So I'll probably Friday night while we're in there before we get on the ship, I'll probably go out through their website and I'll put $500 on it. And I think that's what we agreed to, but we haven't done it yet. We just bought our drink package a few days ago. And so that's, man. I
don't ever get the drink package. I drink water and dirty sock tea and lemonade.
You like that tea though? You don't get the soda. You don't get the bubbles package.
No.
Yeah, you're not a soda drinker, are you?
I do sometimes, but I mean, if my kids buy me, I'm like, hey, go give me a Pepsi Zero or something. I don't drink enough to justify like even bringing my own 12-pack on. I drink, I'm gonna tell around like Eddie, and it'll be full of water most of the time.
Yeah, that's smart. Like my mom doesn't get it either, and we can hook her up. Actually, I meant to go on her room and have her a case of water delivered to her room. I need to do that. Yeah, I know, man.
Don't get beat up.
She is so excited about you guys, about cruising with you guys again. Now, this is a true story, guys. We had my mom on the Breakaway, the Vlogger Extravaganza cruise. She wanted to meet J&D from Pair DJ, and she wanted to meet Tony and Don, and she wanted to meet Jamie and Sharon, and Jason and Elisa from EEC, all the big channels. She wanted to meet those guys, and she got to meet them all. And she had a great time. But when we were at the airport, get ready to come home, we all agreed that the cruise was nice and we had a great time on the cruise. But we had a better time with you guys in New Orleans. The 2 days we spent in New Orleans was a highlight of that 9-day vacation for us. And before we got off the ship, a couple days after we were on the ship, my mom's like, I want to go on that reunion cruise with Josh and Amanda. And we actually had Amanda, she booked that cruise for my mom, this cruise we're going on now, while she was still on the Breakaway. She booked it. So and she said the Breakaway was her last cruise ever. So that's how much she loves you guys. She is going to go on another cruise, and and that's testimony to what great people you guys are. And I met a brother from, what's that?
Excited to cruise with her, ready to eat dinner with her, laugh, have a good time, watch some shows.
I met a guy named Calvin. I hope he's in here right now. From your home state, Laura and I met him on the Spirit. We were talking about just, going back forward, talking. Really super nice guy. And he is retired U.S. Army, really nice guy. And, he said he's from Louisiana. And I said, oh, we got good friends from Louisiana. And we told him about you and told him they need to subscribe to Have Luggage Will Travel. What a great guy you were. And I said, now that's two really exceptional guys. Plus there's a guy at the casino on the Celebration. I forget his name. I think his name was Terrence. And he was trying to convince me to move to Louisville. He was standing there while Paul was playing craps. His wife was playing craps. And me and him were both standing there holding their purses, watching them play. Paul don't have a purse. But, we're standing there and we were talking about, where you're from, that kind of thing. And he's like, man, I live in Louisiana and you need to move to Louisiana, man. It's great down there. You'll love it. And then the guy on the other side whose wife was playing looks over and goes, no, man, you want to move to Florida. So I had him like trying to recruit me to their states. Pretty funny. So now I've met 3 cool dudes from Louisiana. So, but yeah, we were really.
You got a Mr. Tom in Facebook. Sorry, Amanda said you can't see the chat. She wanted me to.
Let me look at it.
Sorry.
I'm doing my best, guys. I'm sorry. I'm here. I am solo. Solo, you can't see me.
I'm sitting over here helping.
Hey, Pure Runners is in here also. I'd like to recognize the wannabe BFF in here. We're from Mississippi. Bone Tired, right next door to his cousins over in Mississippi, right down the road.
That is okay. So I got Facebook open now.
We've got a lot of new people in here tonight, Eddie. A lot of people.
Yeah, I saw a lot of new people. Guys, usually the way this works, if you're new here, I gotta turn my phone down. We have usually Laura's like handling all the greetings, the hellos, and everything. And let me just real quick, Catherine Concepts, KDP, Cruising is Fun Anytime, Cruise Nuts, Randesetta, is that how you say that? Welcome aboard.
And it's saying hey to everybody in the chat, so I don't know. I'm with you.
Okay. Cruising Scene, Google and Rob, nice to see you. Alice, the better half of Eddie Lugo Studios. Zeus is in here.
Their first time. Welcome in.
Yeah. Law Jones, how you doing? Tony G. Embarkation Nation, Siegel Media. I had it open, guys, to full screen so I could see better. And I couldn't see the chat when it was open. So anyways, I apologize. Will G. You guys, you come out. They come out every week and support us, and we love you all. And we do this because this is fun. We love doing this because this is fun. Doing the live streams is fun for us, and it's cool. And and it's mostly cruise vloggers that are in here. So let's see if I can get rid of this. Oh, there you go. Now I can see again. So we appreciate the community, the cruise vlog community. It's a great community, and we really enjoy being part of it.
Yep.
So
it's all from Destination Fun Rate. Oh, there's Eddie Lugo. Okay.
Eddie Lugo.
Yeah. There's what is that? Cruising on the High Seas. Hello.
Okay. I'm not. What I'm doing now is I'm opening it up on my phone so I can see the chat.
I'm not as pretty as Laura, but hey, I'm trying to do my best.
You're helping me out. Bone Tired Travelers, how you doing? First time here. We love having you here. It's usually a little more organized, guys, because I'm supervised when Laura's here. We have this thing. I used to do a lot of cruise news, and it was always, Laura isn't here right now. And that became like our catchphrase, Laura isn't here right now. And on the back of our Huddle Adventure shirts, it says hashtag Laura isn't here right now. So it's always funny when I do stuff without her. But I don't do much without her anymore. Now, I have a bunch of footage from the Spirit that I need to get together and start posting, including a full, I call it the meat and potatoes tour of the ship, where I show all the highlights, all the important stuff on the ship. And I got to get busy on all that stuff. It's just been so crazy. We've been home basically 6 days.
Wow.
Excuse me. We got home late on Tuesday night. And then, boom. So I guess it's been 7 days, technically. We got home 7 days ago right now. But since then, and I know you guys get tired of hearing it, I've been working every day since we got home. I went to work on Wednesday and it's been work since then. And I actually will be working Thursday, first half of the day before I get on the plane to fly to Miami. So it's just
straight. Do y'all go straight to Miami, or you got a connecting flight?
No, we're going straight to Miami. We Delta goes straight in there, so we never have a layover to Miami. We're lucky with that. And it was pretty pricey. I want to say we paid somewhere around $1,400 for 3 tickets round trip.
That's
so something like that. That wasn't too bad. It might be $1,600.
We paid $1,250. We're driving to Jackson, Mississippi, flying Southwest, but we got to go Southwest Baltimore to Fort Lauderdale. Coming home, Fort Lauderdale to Atlanta to Jackson. But for check baggage and everything, $1,200 for all 4 of us. It's worth the 2-hour drive over to Jackson and fly.
Yeah, we have 100. We still got to pay 180 for round trip on the luggage. So, yeah, I think it was the return flight was more. I think it was like $750. We actually got a better deal by booking one way each way rather than doing a round trip. It just worked out better. I don't know how it worked, why it did it that way, but we got caught in the middle, like when they were changing the prices or something. It was just really stupid. But we went ahead and booked. I did verify the information I shared earlier today. You probably didn't see it. I think I shared it in the family reunion group cruise. Trevor Shelby was talking about, is there a shuttle service from the airport for our hotel? And there is one for the Miami airport. So, and it's free. And they arrive at the airport on the top of each hour. So anyone that's flying in to Miami, you can contact the hotel when you get down to the luggage carousel, getting your luggage, and let them know where you're going to be, and they'll come pick you up. And that's complimentary with the hotel. And there's a $10 shuttle that will take us from our hotel to the cruise terminal the morning of the cruise.
$10 per person?
Yeah, $10 per person.
Okay, well, that's going to be about what it's going to be to Uber for us anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're going to have to Uber from Fort Lauderdale to the hotel. I don't think the hotel will shuttle that far, but it's not that far, but in Miami, it's that far.
Probably I bet you it's about 40 minutes probably with the traffic and stuff. That isn't bad. We've had longer cab rides and Uber rides than that. I believe that Orlando to Port Canaveral, we had one where a taxi cab driver took us, and it was like $20, I think, for the cab ride, and it took forever to get there. I was like, oh my gosh, I thought this was much closer. We stayed at Cocoa Beach for that one. I think we're going to be stopping on the next cruise we're going on with Royal with you guys and how we cruise Cocoa Beach. So
we're doing. Amanda we're doing something today in Aruba. What are we doing?
The bus. He knows about the bus tour.
The bus tour? Yeah, you were in on that. Sorry, I had a visitor in from work today, so I didn't really get to stay in the chat. But we're doing a bus tour in Aruba?
Yeah, I haven't. We kept talking about what are we going to do, but I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if we're going to just try to, schedule something last minute when we get there if there's nothing available.
Everybody, sorry, Eddie, your wife agreed to do the bus tour in Aruba. I'm sorry.
Okay, well that's good. I guess we're on the bus tour. I'm game for anything. I'm like easy like Sunday morning, so I can eat anything and I'll do anything.
Everybody's like, "Hey, what are y'all doing?" I'm like, "Whatever happens, I'm good. I'm here."
I know at one point we were looking at renting a Jeep somewhere at one point. She talked about that, and we're not doing that. It just, again, we never been to these ports, so this is the first time for us going to Aruba, Bonaire, and Carousel. We never been there, so it's kind of Laura might have been to one of them. I can't remember. Laura's been everywhere, but I've never been to those 3 places.
Hey, Carson. Carson showed up.
Oh, hey, Carson. Let me turn the chat back on over here.
He's doing some DoorDash.
It's so hard to keep up. Katie's in here. See the World with Chris is in here. Hey, guys.
The night before our cruise to hang out. Okay. Charlene.
I can't believe, Charlene. Hey, Charlene. I can't believe people haven't tuned out already. They're here staying for you, Josh. because there's no Laura.
I'm surprised I made it after our live last night because I thought Amanda was going to kill me.
You almost died again today.
You were having a lot of fun, buddy.
Hey, Spaceballs is a great movie. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good movie. You can't fault you on that one. That was pretty funny. I like that part where he goes, "It's merchandising." You know, where he's got all that stuff. Merchandising. Yeah, it's so crazy.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to get started on a man's gonna punch me.
Yeah, she was getting pretty aggravated. So, and we like it when she gets aggravated.
She's never seen the movie. She refuses to watch the movie, so that's all on her. I mean,
hey, you can get in on here. You don't have to sit out to the side, Amanda. Slide that big guy over. You can get on the screen.
No, I'm saying hi to somebody. They're introducing themselves to me, and I said, "Well, look on the screen."
Who's introducing?
There you go. Amanda's the eye candy in the group. Josh is a muscle.
A lot. That's what me and Eddie and Gary Manning and Brian Kearns are all known for the muscle.
There you go. Well, I think Julie's muscle.
Our guys far out surpass us in looks.
Well, hey, you know what? It's really funny. I had such a great time with Trevor and Thomas and Reese the other night. Those guys had me laughing so hard. And it's just they're so creative and just funny, man. They should be writing like TV for sitcoms or something. They're so funny, and they're inventing drinking games for this cruise. And one of them has to do with John Held. And every time someone says something stupid to John Held on his Facebook account when they complain, something about you got to drink every time there's a complaint.
Wow, there'd be a lot of drunk people quick.
I think that's Trevor's master plan. So, yeah.
You may not have heard this. We were going to get on the Dream in February, and the Vista had to stop, and they had to airlift someone off due to a medical emergency. And while we're waiting to get on the Dream, it comes up, and Amanda's looking at it. Someone emailed John Held and said they wanted to be comped some onboard credit because their cruise was starting late because of that medical emergency.
Those people, man.
Somebody almost died, and you're worried about getting some stupid onboard credit, and you're about to go on a cruise.
I used to log in every morning and see what John Held has to say and watch his coffee time live. And those negative people they suck the life out of you. I can't watch it anymore because I can't stand all those people complaining.
I wouldn't know about it. Yeah, I wouldn't know about it if she didn't tell me. Like, that ain't my world. I stay out of that.
Hey, listen, the other thing is this type of thing is not exclusive to Carnival. Celebrity has Facebook groups or celebrity Facebook fan groups where the people do the same thing. They complain about it's not like the good old days. The food isn't good anymore. Everything changed after COVID. And I really, that whole everything changed after COVID thing, some things changed, but everything didn't get worse because of COVID. And when people say stuff like that, it reminds me of those guys that, when we were growing up and they told us, those old guys, your music today is horrible. My music's the good music. It's like people romanticize things that happened before, and they're always greater than they ever were, and it's just so silly. But I think what bothers the celebrity people is the fact that celebrities become more competitive in their pricing, and more new people have been selling with celebrity, and they don't feel like they're as elite as they used to be or something like that. And but yeah, I've noticed it with some royal pages, celebrity pages. I think Princess as well. There's just a bunch of negative people out there that like to complain. And if you can afford to go on a cruise and experience this lifestyle, you are in a small group. There's a lot of people out there who will never be able to afford to go on vacations like this, and to do nothing but try to find faults with it and what's wrong and focus on little mistakes and things that go wrong. And that's all you want to concentrate on. It just makes me wonder, what kind of people are you guys, Yeah.
It's the whole, you can't make everybody happy, but here's my deal is if you showed up one more cruise after the cruise you complained about, then there's something you like.
Yeah.
Because I'm not spending that kind of money to go in there and just complain about crap. Because, I mean,
I think a lot of people have buyer's remorse. So basically, they're cheap.
Mm-hmm.
They got the money, they can afford to go on the cruise, but when they get home and they realize how much money they spent, now they're kind of mad because they spent a bunch of money, and then they're negative about it. I think that they hyper. They go back and they're really critical of every little thing that went wrong because
they're overanalyzing.
Spending the money stung, it stings them or something. That's the only thing I can think of, because we've been on so many cruises. We've been very fortunate, very blessed. Since the pandemic. I think we've been on 14 cruises or something like that since the restart, or 13, something like that. And we've had some that didn't go real smooth. We had some issues on some of them. We had a couple, things that were, not very pleasant happen. But those things are so small. And the cruise line and every situation that went wrong went out of their way to address it and fix it. Right. So, but you have to tell them. And I think that's a lot of people are kind of meek too. So if they're on their cruise and something is going wrong, people are kind of afraid to go and say anything because they don't want to be a Karen and a Ken, right? You don't want to be a Karen because you're complaining, right? And expressing dissatisfaction with something that's legitimately an issue isn't the same thing as being that lady at Target yelling and screaming where the police have to come and drag her out. That's not the same thing. So I think people are hesitant to speak out sometimes, where they should. All you got to do is go to the guest services and say, hey, listen, we paid for this, but we didn't get that, or this happened and this was supposed to happen. Is there anything you can do for us? And I watched them when I was there on this last cruise. They bend over backwards for people. There's people in there going, my shower isn't draining fast enough and I'm getting water on my floor. And sir, I'm going to send a plumber right away to your room. Right.
And they come right away.
Yeah. Now, say you don't go to the service desk or call I say call them, because you can call them right from your room. You don't do that, and you just deal with the water on the floor all week. And then when you get home, you go on Facebook and say, John Hill, I almost drowned in my bathroom because there was water backup all week, and you didn't take it upon yourself to let anybody know. That's on you. That you know what I mean? You have to be proactive. This is your vacation, guys. So if something's going wrong, just reach out to them. Be nice. You guys ever watch Roadhouse? Let me know in the comments. Who watched Roadhouse in the comments? Hey, Mike Clock.
I'm not in the comments. Hey, Tony G, by the way.
What does Dalton say? Dalton says, be nice.
Until it's time not to be nice.
Yes. If you a little bit of sugar, man, goes a long way. So if you just be nice, they'll take care of you.
Amanda put in there she needed a light bulb. I remember we were on a cruise. Our mini fridge went out. Guy brought us a new mini fridge, pulled the other one out, put the new one in, come back. He's like, I'll come back, check on it, make sure it's still working. But the Dream, for example, we were on there in February. We hadn't even left port yet, and a woman is acting stupid because one of the ice cream machines messed up, and she wasn't getting her ice cream. And it's like, seriously, she's like, you need to get over there and fix it right now. And it's not even anybody that could fix the ice cream machine. But I get it like this. People that are on a cruise complaining, they're complaining about all aspects of their life. And they haven't found joy, because I'm telling you what, a cruise is not going to make me more joyous than I already am, or more happy than I already am.
Exactly. That's an inside job. We know that. If you choose to be happy, and you choose to be happy by counting your blessings and being grateful for what good you do have in your life, and we know that, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people that just they lack that ability. But you got people that cause scenes on the ships that complain about things like and gotta go over the top. But you also have a lot of people that they go to restaurants on dry land. I always say it like a SpongeBob. Everything on dry land, on dry land.
Everything on dry land.
Yeah, when they have a complaint like at a restaurant, some people won't even tell them they got a problem. They just go home angry and say, I'm never going back there again, right? Rather than let them know, hey, my soup was cold. Hey, sorry, man, I hate to ask you, but my soup is cold. Do you think you can get me some warm soup, hot soup, whatever? And they'll do that for you. But a lot of people don't address things because they're too meek, or they don't want to cause a problem. But then after the fact, they get mad when they look at how much money they spent. And I dealt with this problem all week, right? that
Yep,
kind
then
of
they
thing.
become keyboard gangsters and start
Yeah.
blasting people like, I'm big, I'm 10 foot tall, look at me, I'm bad behind this keyboard. And it's like, hey, you know what? These are things you could have addressed easily by having a conversation. Like, hey,
Back
something
in
wrong with your room. If they got another room, they'll move you. They'll do whatever they can to take care of you and not. That's what they want to do. They're in the business of taking care of you. And they
yeah,
want
demanded
you to be a repeat customer.
hospitality business, right?
Yes.
Back in 2019, my cruise started 2 days late, but right out the bat, they gave everybody $300 for hotel stay, 50% off your cruise fare back right away, and 50% back for a future cruise. Now, that's good. That's great.
Yeah.
And welcome aboard Cruising on High Seas and Travel. Thanks for sharing that story. And that is, they go out of their way to compensate you. Like, all right, our celebrity cruise, we had this celebrity cruise that everything went wrong on embarkation day. It was like a nightmare. And then when we left, our luggage, someone accidentally stole didn't steal it. They accidentally took our luggage. The porters grabbed the wrong suitcase. That's how it ended on a debarkation day. And on embarkation day, we book everything online ourselves. We get there and we go to our cabin. They said, your cabins are ready as soon as you get on board. I'm like, oh, nice, celebrity. So we go down to deck 2. We're on the Millennium. We go to deck 2, and I'm looking around. I'm like, Lord, we're like the only people down here. And we're going down the hallway where our room is, and there's a bunch of furniture in the hallway. I mean, it looked like there was a fire or something in one of the rooms. I'm like going, this isn't the fancy cruise ship I thought it was, right? So I'm trying to get in the room. The card key isn't opening the door. I'm like, what is going on? And then 2 guys in uniforms walked up, and then they told us, oh, this is the COVID suite. So apparently that furniture was out in the hallway because whoever stayed in that room, they clear all the furniture out and put new furniture in, not new furniture, but probably different furniture. They sanitize furniture, whatever. That's what was out in the hallway. So we're like, oh my gosh, how do we end up down here? So the last place you want to go before your ship takes off on embarkation day is the service deck, guest services, right? Yeah. I got to go stand in the guest service line, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to do it. I'm like, I just want to get a beer. I want to relax. I don't want to deal with this. So I'm in line, and they apologize profusely. Sir, that was a computer mistake. We apologize. Here's your new room. You're room 3 something something. We're going to upgrade you. We're giving you a veranda. This is going to be our first time being in an interior room. We booked it purposely, an interior room. We want to see what an interior room's like. So they upgrade us immediately to a veranda room. I called Laura. I said, good news. I got us a room. I'm going to go there right now and see what's going on. Go up there, and before I even open the door, the room steward goes, sir, what are you going in that room? I go, yeah. He goes, there's people in that room already. There's different guests in that room. I'm like, oh my gosh. So now I'm like, I don't want to go stay in that line again. And that's where now I'm out of patience. This is where Laura comes in. Laura has to take over because now I want to choke people, and I got to calm down, relax. So I head up to the bar I left her at, and you know what they did? I just opened a beer when I had to leave to go check and everything. They took my beer and gave me a brand new one when I came back up because they knew my beer was warm, whatever, which was pretty nice of them. The bartender at the pool bar on this Celebrity Millennium said, oh, I'll take care of this for you. He called down to whoever's in charge of guest services, said, yeah, we have guests here. You guys put them in a COVID suite room. Then you gave them another room, and there's already someone in that room. And they're like, oh, my gosh. And he said, and they don't want to stay in a line anymore. He stood in line for 45 minutes. They said, come down, come right to the front, to the right side of the line, and I'll be waiting for you. So whoever's in charge of hospitality down there, the officer met me, took me up to deck 7, went with me, and asked me, is this room nice enough? And it was another step up from the room they gave us, the 303, the room on the 3rd deck. And I'm like, yeah, it's great. So it's not over with, though. We go in that room. I get Laura. We go in there. Everything's fine. But our cards won't open the door. So the room steward has to let us in the room. I'm like, our cards don't work. So the room steward calls and says, these people, they're going through, you have nothing but problems. So it turns out maintenance had to come down and reprogram the card reader on the door. So we're doing a live stream. Hey, here we are on, or not live stream. We're doing a vlog.
Yeah.
And the maintenance guy comes in, and he fixes the door. So during the whole thing, we're capturing it all on film, and we kept a good attitude through the whole thing. I didn't want to stay in line again, and I was getting agitated, but I wasn't like yelling at anybody or anything like that. But it's so cool how they made amends. And then what they did was they invited us to every event on that ship for the rest of the week. They sent us champagne. They sent all kinds of stuff to our room. And we were invited to things we didn't even understand we were invited to. And we missed out on some opportunities because we didn't know, well, they're doing a wine tasting here and they're doing this and they're doing an art show over here. I'm like, it's like, those aren't things I do. You know what I mean? And in fact, I was doing like a tour of the ship, like an impromptu tour, nothing structured. And I go in this big room at the front of the ship. It's like where they have like a big bar and they do entertainment in there. We walk in there and there's the cruise directors on the stage, the captains, all these people are in there and they're all dressed real nice. It's the middle of the afternoon on a sea day. And I'm like, I don't think we're supposed to be in here. So we scramble out of there. And later I'm in our room and I looked and I go, hey, we were invited to that thing. We could have stayed in there. It's just so funny. We're like the Beverly Hillbillies, we end up at places that it's like, they got a cement pond here, Jeffro. That's me everywhere I go.
Oh, Jeffro.
everything's more fancy than I could ever be, Josh. It's so funny.
Hey, I 100% agree. We've had a few hiccups and stuff with some things, but nothing like I've ever just got so bent out of shape that I'm going to ruin their day. Because it's not going to make me feel any better. So, I mean, I just like, hey, go with the flow. I'm not at work. I'm not checking emails. And the Lord's been good enough to me that I can afford a cruise. So I'm going to enjoy it,
that is exactly how I look at it, too. I actually had a talk with Laura today, how I have to remind myself to relax. Because I'm so intense and I'm so wound up and I'm going 100 miles an hour at all times. And it's funny that now I'm doing vlogging on the ship, which I probably shouldn't do, so I can not be just focus on having a good time. But I have a good time vlogging. So vlogging's fun for me. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. It's hard for me to explain. I really enjoy it. But anyways, sometimes I forget because I'm so hard on myself when I'm doing it. So I'm like, man, I should have done this better. I should have done that better. I have to stop doing that. Every once in a while I catch myself and go, man, you're on vacation. And I like smack myself mentally. And say, stay focused, have fun, focus on fun, focus on being relaxed.
Yeah, me and Amanda change roles. Like when I'm at home, I'm like up, ready to go. I wake up like 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like drinking coffee, full speed ahead. I get on a cruise, I'm like, leave me alone. And she's like, let's go. I got to go. And I'm like, no.
I don't like wasting time in the room.
I'm like, leave me alone in this dark room. It's cold and I am like a bear hibernating. I don't want to move.
Well, Laura likes to take naps, right? So she likes that afternoon nap. So she's a napper. So we get lunch and Laura's real funny because she'll go, I'm starving, and we'll go somewhere. She's like, I'm going to tear it up. And then she eats like half her food. And then after that, after that, we'll go get drinks and she'll slam down the first couple and she's like, yeah, we're going to just keep going. I'm not going to go back to the room and I'm going to be good. And then like 2 hours later, she's like, I go, you want to take a nap? She's like, oh, honey, if I take a nap, I can stay out later tonight and it'll be better. And then she straight up, as soon as we go in that room, falls right to sleep and can sleep for like 2-3 hours straight without an issue. And I'm sitting there going, I'm like a little kid thinking, every minute I'm in there, I'm like Amanda. Every minute I'm in that room, I feel like I'm missing something outside that room that's going on out that ship. And so I'm sitting there going, and I can't sleep. I'll sleep for like 20 minutes, and then I'll be wide awake again. And I'm like looking out the balcony window and thinking, well, maybe I should go here or there or do this or that. So we made a deal on this one. What's that?
I have a plan. I'll send Josh to our room to nap. You can send Laura to your room to nap, and me and you could go find something to do.
Go gamble.
There you go. I'm sure there'll be other non-nappers on this one. But I told Laura what I did on the Spirit on the second to last day when she went to take her nap. That's when I went and I did a tour of the ship. And the only thing bad was a sea day. So there's a lot of people, and they see you with the camera and some of them are like, you're juking back and forth. You're trying to get around when they keep going back. And it's just funny, And the other thing they'll do is they'll just pop right in front of you and go, hey man, what you doing? It's like,
Oh yeah.
Human. Yeah.
We've had a whole variety of that stuff on the Dream. You know, like, what are y'all doing? Like some of the older people.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to film.
The funny thing is in the evening we get them. You know, they see because we always have that wind muff on our microphone. So after everyone's drinking, that's when they're all super friendly, especially on Carnival. Like, hey, buddy, what's that thing you got there? They do it. I get that all the time,
Yeah.
and we break the ice with that, and we end up giving. That's when we give them our cards out, or they'll say, "Hey, are you YouTubers?" Like, yeah, we're YouTubers, and we give our cards out. And you guys that have channels, you have to have cards, because you'll sit there and I thought about, hey, I can have them scan my QR code. It's so much easier. Just give them your card with your QR code on it already, and just do it that way. And what we've done is we use Linktree, so all of our links for all of our social media and our everything else we're affiliated with is on that site. I think I pay $10 a month because we have I think up to 12 links is on that. So if I change anything or I decide I'm going to close an account or something, I just do it on Linktree. So when they go on hit that QR code, whatever is current is on there, and they can find your YouTube channel and all that kind of stuff. And we found that works out so much better. And when we started doing that, we pick up more subscribers during and after the cruise than we did before we did that with the business cards. Really inexpensive investment, and it works just great. I cannot recommend that enough.
Yeah, Mandy gets a lot of she gets a lot of business on cruises because people bring up, hey, what do you do for a living? In America, we're big about, hey, where you live and what do you do for a living, to find a common ground to relate to someone. And when Amanda's like, oh, I'm a travel agent, they're like, oh my God, you do it. And so she's booked 2 cruises just off our Dream cruise with some people. She's not paying attention to me to verify.
Listen,
new client.
She's texting a new client. So, hey, Mama's Adventure.
She's awesome, man, and she is a hustler. I can tell you firsthand, she does a great job as a travel agent.
I mean, she takes care of Mike Clock. I mean, if she can save Mike Clock $12, by God, she's gonna save Mike Clock $12. I'll tell you. I'm picking Mike Clock.
What did you say? Save Mike Clock $12?
Yeah,
Mike
Clock $12.
Yeah, Mike Clock, he squeaks when he walks, buddy. Listen.
He does.
You show up on one of my cruises, Mike Clock. I'll give you $100. How's that sound? I'll give you $100 American currency, not pesos. All right, buddy. I'm a millwright.
I'll give you $5, Mike.
I'll give you 100 American, buddy. Yeah. So that's he's got a book. He's got to come on. He's got to come on our group cruise, the Tropic Like It's Hot group cruise. That's going to kick off 2025, guys.
It is.
On all you Carnival guys, listen, you need to get off a Carnival ship once in a while and see what else is out there in the world. You'll like that Royal stuff. We
will be more convinced either way about y'all's group cruise after we get back from Oasis of the Seas, because we're sail with the tail kind of people. So we're gonna see what the Royal looks like.
You're going to like it. I'll tell you will like it. It is different, but you're going to like it. Your kids are going to love the Royal ship. There's so much on it. Now, the thing about the one we're going to, Harmony of the Seas, is much newer than Oasis of the Seas. I think Oasis of the Seas is like 2012, refurbished like in 2018. I believe Harmony came out like in 2017, 18. We went on it in 2019 when it was relatively new. And, you can't beat the ships. The service is really, really good on Royal. You get the same experience like with your room stewards and the servers. They're just not as they don't joke around as much as a Carnival. No one does it like Carnival. Carnival's employees they'll razz you. They'll joke around with you and make fun of you what you're ordering. Like, oh, kids banana split. Yeah, you're really adventurous. They make fun of me because me and my boys are ordering the same stuff over and over again, and they do that. But anyways,
Mike Clock wanted you to know, Eddie.
He is on Tropic Like It's Hot. That's right, Mike Clock, Arc Adventures. I think there's somebody else is on it already. but we're going to keep hammering it. And I'm glad Mike's on it. We had such a good time with Mike, and we talk about that. That breakaway cruise is my least favorite cruise I've ever been on, by far. No close second to as far as least favorite, for several reasons. As far as the cruise experience itself is concerned, but the fun we had with, like, our friends on that ship, it made up for all that, right? We had a great time with Brian and Julie. We had a great time with Arc Adventures. We had a great time with Mike Clock, and several other people. Beach Please. We had a great time with the Cruise World. It was fun hanging out. But as far as we talked about this, we said if all those people weren't on that cruise with us, we wouldn't have been happy with that cruise, because the crew seemed like they were under intense pressure, like they were very stressed out, overworked like crazy, and just at their wits' end, with management. That's what it felt like. It felt like a typical business here in the United States where the employees can't stand their supervisors. You know what I mean? Like the bad places where it's just like they are on their back all the time, and no one wants to be there. That's kind of the feeling you had. We've never had that experience on any cruise line before, and it might have been isolated to that ship. There's some people that argue, well, you had that big group cruise on there. They had 2 years advance warning that the group cruise is coming, and they acted like they didn't know anything about it. You know what I mean? So for me, and I know you too, Josh, because you have a high standard for customer service in your line of work.
Oh,
you don't accept anything but the best for your clients, right? There's no excuse for that. You know what I mean? So, like I told those guys, if they were ever to do another group cruise like that, they have to move it to either Carnival or Royal, because those two cruise lines can handle something like that and treat everybody the right way. The cruise director never visited a single group event we had going on. There was 900 people in this group, Josh, 900 plus people in the group. We didn't see the cruise director at one thing. The staff at Paradise Beach made a bigger deal about us than anyone on Norwegian Cruise Line did. They were really so happy to see us there, and they loved us. They treated us like just happy to have our business. So, but with that, man, what are you the most excited about this cruise? We're going to wrap up here real quick. I see you yawning.
Real quick. I was Lido Deck's in here. Hello, Captain Short Round.
Hey.
OG BFF. And Laura says Mama's Adventures is actually on Drop It Like It's Hot group.
That is right. I'm sorry, Mama's Adventure, for not mentioning you. No.
What I'm looking forward to is the redemption of Gelato Gate.
There you go.
I feel like it's going to be a redemption cruise. Is what I really feel like.
How about the confetti? You arrived on the confetti cheesecake.
Confetti. They don't have it on there. I've already been forewarned. So
dude,
Laura,
look, hey, I forgot to tell you this. Spirit had it 2 days in a row.
All right.
Embarkation day and day 2, the Spirit had confetti cheesecake 2 days in a row.
I know. And look, here's the deal. Amanda dropped her Breeze vlog day 1 tonight, a while ago, and she wants to go film it all. Like, look at this delicious blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you know what? Shame on y'all.
You're mentioning our vlogs as well, Josh. But we do it more like, Josh, good news. Confetti cheesecake is back. And then I'm like, you won't believe this. It's here day 2. I've never seen it outside of Embarkation Day. And it showed up. And it was the delicious. It was the delicious. You don't need sprinkles. It was the traditional delicious cheesecake, confetti cheesecake, 2 days in a row. So what must have happened is they didn't use it all up on day 1. So they have cake stuff for day 2. I've never seen it happen before.
I'm going to one. I told Amanda I may go to Rudy's Sea Grill, even if I go by myself, because she's not a big seafood person, to try it out. But at some point, I will get some cheesecake somewhere on the cruise ship, whether I got to go to the steakhouse and just buy the cheesecake or whatever. So
that Rudy's Sea Grill is really good. Did you have it on Mardi Gras?
No, because Amanda doesn't eat seafood.
If they have chicken, I'll go.
So she's not a seafoodie person, just like I'm not really the Italian person. So she'll probably go to the Italian place with Trevor and watch him cry over the lasagna. I don't know.
Do you think Trevor's still a crier even after he shaved his head? You don't think it toughens him off?
Yeah. You can look at him. He's a crier. He owns cat. He's a crier.
he
probably
watches
the Notebook with his house slippers on. And
all right, listen.
That's watching it with his cat.
True story. I'm gonna lose my man card again. I don't even think I have a man card anymore because I believe in transparency. The Notebook. I never ever watched that until I got with Laura, and she's like, "You gotta watch The Notebook," and I'm like, "Oh my god, I don't want to watch this." Right? So now, mind you, she had me watch the Twilight movies, and she almost took her card away for recommending movies after that because I didn't just watch one of them. I watched all of them. You know what I mean? She had me watch all of them because she said, "You won't believe how good these movies are." And I still don't believe her. But The Notebook, dude, the Notebook, man, pulled my heartstrings, buddy. That movie, did you ever watch it?
No, I'm not going to.
Dude, listen. The guy loves this woman the entire movie, and then we finally get together. When she gets old, she gets like dementia and can't remember anything. And the whole movie is he's narrating it. James Gardner, I think, is the guy narrating. It's his voice. And the narration is he's reading their life together back to her at the home she's in. So he visits her every day in the home, and every day she don't know who he is. And he has to reintroduce himself. And he quit telling him he's her husband. He just tells her he's her friend or something like that. And then reads this love story to her, which is a story of their life. And she just hangs on every word like she never heard it before. And you just sit there and go, damn. And it's just so crazy how. But there you go, guys. I just showed you.
I'd rather watch 50 First Dates with Adam Sandler.
He'd rather watch Spaceballs.
I'd rather watch Spaceballs. No.
Too.
I'm going to bring this movie up, and I tell you what, I'm not going to say I'll do it, but I may watch The Notebook. And this movie, I'm a diehard Western fan, hence the Have Luggage instead of Have Gun Will Travel. I've been trying to tell Amanda to watch McClintock, a John Wayne comedy Western movie with him and Maria. I can't never say her last name. Shanahan, whatever. It's a funny comedy Western with John Wayne in it. It's got a lot of funny stuff in it. And she still will never watch it, so Notebook will never get watched.
I'll watch your Western if you'll watch The Notebook.
Absolutely
not.
I don't care about you watching it. I don't care about you watching McClintock enough for me to watch The Notebook. I'm not watching Twilight, the bird that's on fire thingy, whatever them movies.
Hunger Games.
Yeah,
I can't watch. I read The Hobbit when I was in like middle school. I was an avid reader. But I could never watch the series, and I won't even think about watching Harry Potter. You couldn't pay me to watch that. And there's a lot of stuff like that I just can't get into. But here's the deal, though. I say make her watch Spaceballs. Then you watch The Notebook. And listen, she will be glad. Did she ever watch Star Wars, Amanda?
Yes.
Okay. Spaceballs just makes fun of Star Wars, and it's really funny. Now, and you will like The Notebook, and she will like Spaceballs. I guarantee you, both of you will come away happy. I guarantee it.
I love you, Eddie. You're my new favorite.
No, I will not come away.
I'm going to tell you another chick movie you got to get Josh to watch is Where the Crawdads Sing.
I haven't watched that.
That's based on your state. That's based in your state, Louisiana. I believe it is, and that's a cool movie though. That's kind of like almost like a mystery suspense kind of movie. It's at a certain point, so it's kind of cool. You'd like both of those. But I'm a movie buff, guys. I love a wide range of movies, but I do not like the goofy stuff like Twilight. I just can't get into that. Vampire movies can't be love stories, you know. I can't. I'm just like, that's just so crazy. It's like you got to go with the werewolf guy because the other guy looks like he's got anemia, right? so that's where I'm at. So, but hey,
I'm a war guy. I'm a war and Western
and
guy.
I watch his war movies with him. Just FYI.
No, she don't.
Yes,
she don't watch all of them.
You're a liar.
Did you see 1917, Josh?
I've seen parts of it. I haven't watched the whole part of it. I haven't watched.
Oh my gosh, I watched it on an airplane coming back from Seattle. What a great movie! It's based on a true story, and it's just a phenomenal movie. I really enjoyed it. It made that flight go by because like a 2-hour movie. I just sat there just glued to the entire thing. I thought it was awesome. I love war movies too. I watch all the Vietnam movies. Most of the movies that I watch are the war movies that are my favorites are all from like the 90s and up. So that's my
Clint Eastwood fan. So like I watched Heartbreak Ridge stuff.
That's
like
a good
that.
one.
Heartbreak Ridge is a great movie. But your wife's saying watch something called A Man Called Otto. Thomas said that's going to be on one of the dive-in movies. Your wife said Vampires Need Love Too, Eddie. 1917 was great. See, I really have to be bought into the story. Like my favorite movie of all time is Sergeant York with Gary Cooper. It was made in the 40s. That's my favorite movie of all time.
Now you're an old soul, buddy, because you like those old movies.
Black and white. That's a great movie.
You know, it's funny. There's a channel on Carnival that shows old movies, and I sit there. While Laura was sleeping, I sit there and watch TV while she's sleeping in the cabin, and I watch some movie from like the 40s, the 30s, where everybody talks like this. They're like, "Hey now, let me tell you, this is what's going to happen, pal. You're going to go ahead and get in the car. We're going to drive you around the block. We're going to straighten you out." You know, that kind of stuff. And you're just like, I'm like, why does everybody have that accent? No one talks like that now. It's like, but in those movies, they all talk like that. It didn't matter if it was the police, the gangsters, they all talk like that. It was a black and white movie, and I got sucked into it. And what I like about those old movies, and then you got to call movies from the 80s old now, Josh, because they was 40 some years ago. They didn't have CGI and all that. That CGI stuff. Like all those Marvel movies and stuff that are coming out now, I sit there and watch those, and all I picture is these guys are flipping around in front of a green screen, and it's like, and it's all computerized, everything, and everything's moving 100 miles an hour, and you're watching at the theater going, what is this? What's happening? And it's like 11, 13 minutes of just nonstop chaos on the screen, and you get like sensory overload trying to follow that stuff. Then you go watch like Aliens, 1979.
Yeah.
One of the all-time best sci-fi horror movies of all times, hands down. They did that all with actual props, stages, no computer, no CGI. Superman, the one with the guy who got paralyzed. What is his name? In 1979. Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reeves. Yeah, that series. All that was done. Ghostbusters. You know, all that, those movies. Jaws. They didn't have like all this CGI stuff. So it's like I think that stuff kind of ruined filmmaking to a certain extent, where they're just making everything on a computer. You know.
You got like Caddyshack, Back to College or Back to School. The Ghostbusters. Hey, here's my favorite one next to that, like war movie, Smokey and the Bandit. Great movie. You didn't have to have CGI. You just had Burt Reynolds and the Snowman.
Probably crashed 30 versions of every vehicle. You know, a true story. A guy I work with has the Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am with less than 1,000 miles on it. Bought it brand new when he was 19 years old.
That's worth some money.
Original tires on it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's super original. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, you grew up when they had to use multiple camera angles, and they had everything was just, you know, it wasn't like today. You know, today it's so much computers, and nothing against that, but it's just not the same. So you're watching a movie from 1940s, and you're watching all these different scenes and coming from different angles, and you're watching how the camera's moving, and you're thinking, man, they got these cameras on carts, on tracks, like train tracks, wheeling them around, and all the sets are all built. There's all the labor that went into all that stuff, you know, and it's just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. The Westerns. And so like I watched Black Adam. I didn't want to because I'm not a rock fan, that movie was so terribly fake looking. Like
Yeah.
I told her, it just made it so horrible to watch about how fake it looked. But anyway, not to turn
I can't
this
get it. But I have that same feel with all the Marvel movies now. I feel like that on all of them. I'm like, oh man, and the DC movies, I just like Batman. I love the Batman series with Christian Bale. I thought those were awesome movies. I thought they were just incredible. And but
Hey,
I don't know. But anyways, man, you said it. As far as this cruise, I think it's gonna be really interesting to see how we all come together. I'm really excited about meeting everybody in person. We already know that you're awesome and Amanda's awesome and Brian and Julie are awesome. But we're gonna get a chance to spend some time with all these other people. It's gonna be so great. We got our shirts. They made it in time. Gary Manning came through.
Gary Manning.
Probably more Teresa than Gary.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But yeah, we got our shirts, so we're all shirted up. We'll be ready for embarkation day with our we're supposed to wear them embarkation day, I assume.
Yeah.
So that is the plan. So we're gonna have a riot, man. I can't wait to hang out with you in 2 days. We'll have to get dinner when we get into Miami, and we'll be like Will Smith. We're going back to Miami.
We're going to Miami.
So it's gonna be fun. Yeah, man. All right, Josh. Well, thank you, buddy, for filling in for my better half. And thank all of you guys for coming in. If I miss saying hi to you, it's because I'm a cretin, I'm a barbarian, I'm a caveman with a computer. And I love you all. And we will be checking in with you soon. We're going to do a lot of lives in the next the next few days. Just be tuned. I think I might hop on Facebook and warn you that we're going to go live. So if you see anything on Facebook from us, Huddle Adventures, it means we're going to go live on YouTube. I might do the same thing on Instagram. I didn't realize I couldn't go live on TikTok yet. I think you need 1,000 followers on TikTok. Oh, we have a video on TikTok that has over 65,000 views in the last 4 days. So it's the first time we've had anything go viral. I guess viral for us. And I'm like, I looked and I said, earlier this morning, it's 56,000 views. And I thought I was looking at it wrong. I did one of these. Put my glasses back on. I'm like, what? And then I told Laura, and by the time Laura looked, it was up to 64,000, a couple hours later. So really cool. TikTok's coming along for us really good. I know it's not the most popular application for some people, but man, it gets you so much interaction, comments, people, watching whatever you post. It's really cool. I actually have better results with that than I do with our YouTube channel. We get more views on stuff we do on TikTok than we do on YouTube. And we only have 600 followers on TikTok. We went on TikTok back in September, so we haven't been on it very long, but it's a lot of fun. I like it. But with that said, thanks again, Josh. Hey, that new Oreo flavored Little Debbie's. Did you try that?
No, not yet. No.
Is it out?
Yeah, it's out. So what that was is they've actually packaged it for sale in a grocery store. I've had it where I bought it at a gas station. Yeah. But they've actually packaged it where you can buy it at a grocery store now. Versus having to buy an individual at a gas station.
I meant to bring that up earlier because I seen it somewhere. I think I seen it on the Little Debbie's Instagram page. It popped up last week. Yep. And I'm like, I wonder if my buddy Josh had these. Yeah, they need to sponsor you, man. I'm going to work on that for you. I'm going to reach out to Little Debbie and tell her Big Josh needs to be partnered with Little Debbie. So, all right, guys. We love all you guys, and we will talk to you really soon. Thanks again, Josh. Thanks, Amanda. You're doing a great job there in the shadows. We love you. Bye-bye.
All right. Peace.
Hey, Josh, thanks a lot, buddy.